Here's some additional facts about the cause of the Civil War and Robert E. Lee. And according to the history books that I had back in the old grammar days a long time ago, we got a little different story. And to give you an update on what Robert E. Lee's opinion was, he says that he fought against the northern people because he believed that they were seeking to take away the dearest rights of the South. And he has never cherished toward bitter, vindictive feelings, and he's never seen the day he didn't pray for them. And that's Robert E. Lee. And this is thoughts while thinking. And Jefferson Davis said that I've worked night and day for 12 years to prevent the war, but I could not. And the North was mad and blind and would not let us govern ourselves, so the war came. And Lincoln said that we the people are the rightful masters in both Congress and the courts, that to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow those that would pervert it. Well, that's his opinion because they had the majority vote in both. And before the war, the President Abraham Lincoln was a member of the Whig Party and later became a Republican. He believed that the government should, their job is to do what the community would have them do, and he believed in the civil rights, and he was a fan of Henry Clay. And Henry Clay said that they would abolish the slaves in Washington, D.C., and that the rest of them would be returned to their rightful owners, and that's the way it looked like at the time. And Voltaire says it's dangerous to be right in matters where established men are wrong. Think about this a little bit. And the Civil War was started over economic issues, not slavery. The war was not popular in the North until issue become slavery. And it was added, and then it turned to be a moral crusade. Think about this stuff. And there are few, I believe, in this enlightened age that would not acknowledge that slavery as an institution is a moral and political evil. Robert E. Lee said that. And appreciate you subscribing. And Grant owned slaves, and he kept slaves until after the 13th Amendment was ratified in 1865. Robert E. Lee never owned any slaves. He inherited some, and he freed them as soon as he got them. And that was Robert E. Lee. And Jefferson Davis said the North was mad and blind and would not let us govern. Now repeat that again, because that's the feeling of the South. And I like and appreciate you subscribing. And the root troops of other states have their reputation to gain, and the sons of the Alamo have theirs to maintain. That was Jefferson Davis saying that. And neither current events of our history show that the majority rule ever ruled. And that was Jefferson Davis. And Delaware didn't ratify the 13th Amendment and release their slaves until 1901. And this is a thing to consider. And whereas the United States has had some time in the past and now oppose the executive threat of the obstruction of the states of South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas by the course of judicial procedure by the power vested in me and set forth martial law. Now therefore Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States, declares war on the southern states, and he's called 75,000 of residents to be execute the members in the war, and that's the way it started, and that's the war. And Robert E. Lee still maintained the war was not about slavery. And Robert E. Lee said, I thought I'd never thought I'd see the day that I would see that the President of the United States would raise an army to invade his own country. And that's his opinion. And Jefferson Davis said that we will fight to our last man, and we won't give up until we are all exhausted, and the truth will never be washed from the face of the earth that we were right in our quest. And Robert E. Lee said, traitor, no, I took an oath to my native state to defend her against invaders and leave my own beloved Virginia not, and I was not the traitor. Think about what he was saying there. And Robert E. Lee said that it's your duty to do in all things, and you never can do more. You should never wish to do less. And that's his philosophy and the way he went about things. And Jefferson Davis said, if the Confederate falls, there will be written on the tombstone, died of theory. Think about some of this stuff. And that's the history, the way it looked when I was in school studying it a long time ago. Nothing fills me with deeper sadness than to see a Southerner apologize for the defense we made of our inheritance. And that's Jefferson said that. And without being outnumbered and surrounded, we fight for our country and for a penny. Robert E. Lee. And General Hampton said that you have no right to ask or expect the South will at once profess unbound love to that Union which for 4 years tried to escape the cost of her best blood and treasure, nor can they believe her literally a hypocrite, so based as to declare the flag of the Union has already surpassed her heart, and the place which it belonged succeeded in the Southern Cross. And that was what Hampton said. And it's by Mrs. Grant's own admission in her memoirs, indicated and supplied the evidence that they didn't release their slaves until after the 13th Amendment in 1865 when they released them out of bondage. That was President Grant, General Grant, and his wife. And it's adios, amigos, and we will see you.